out, man, and wake up. That's what
Yes,
it's
sir.
all about. It's all about waking up. Doc,
Yes.
before we get out of here, once again, thank you. Leave them with any information you want to leave them with before we get out of here, Doc.
I really appreciate you, brother. Once again, thank you so much for the opportunity to
Indeed.
talk to the family. And from my wife, she sends her love. She wanted to call and find out how everything went. She thought we'd be off by then. But I am very happy about that. Our 800 number, of course, for any of our services, exemption or whatever it is that we're dealing with. I don't want to, mess up with that again.
Mhm.
Um, uh, just when you want to deal with that, you call and we'll give you more information about not getting it, that thing.
Mhm.
And if you want to deal with our university, you can call the 800 number, 800-847-1291, 800-847-1291. If you want to get on our on our mailing list, you can go up to our university's website at www.uksnow.org. UKS, U is United, K is in King, S is in Science, NOW.org. And just click where it says contact and then fill out, and then you become part of our mailing list. And then here's the other thing I really want to stress now because again, you have to look at this psychological attack. This is a covert attack,
Mm.
United States of America. So they're going to hit us by the land,
Mhm.
when it's going to be by sea, when they're going to start with the tsunamis and the hurricanes. I've warned my brothers and sisters in the Caribbean
Mhm.
that they're in for enormous storms coming up towards the end of this year.
Oh man.
So they should be ready for that because there's going to be a weather war. So they got to hit us with all three of the all four or five of the elements: fire, air, water, and earth. The fire is some form of nuke or some form of discharge that will set off or frighten us into getting into a nuclear war.
Mhm.
You have the land, which essentially is now being taken over or overrun by people that are just coming in from different parts of the world who are actually setting up a stealth army on our territorial
Wow.
lands.
Wow.
Then you have the air, which essentially they're attacking us through not only derailment of trains, because we've had three of them already, with
Mhm.
a number that was getting into the land water. So we're watching this multi-pronged attack that's actually being disguised as, you know, freaks of nature, or somehow, what do you call that? When nature is the one that is supposed to be at fault. So they're using not only a twist of perception, but they're attacking us in all four of the primary elements that have to do with sustaining life, healthy life at that. So air, they're going to pollute the air. They're going to set fires because we found out that they are setting these fires specifically so that the northern region, which is the border of Canada, and do you realize that the border, the southern part of Canada, and the northern part of the United States. Do you know that most of the population in Canada is situated towards the southern border where we are?
Wow. I didn't know that. No.
Right. So essentially, what they're trying to do in both cases is to create the conditions where they'd have the excuse to go to martial law.
Mm.
Okay. So right now, with the influx of all of these immigrants, not all of these immigrants are actually people fleeing from communist countries. What you have essentially are people coming in, like Chinese young men who are of military age, are coming in. You look at them, they got brand new sneakers, they're clean, but they're coming through the southern borders.
Mhm.
And we don't have anybody that's stopping that. So what we are right now is under attack, and I think that by the end of the year, some great, um, one great, fantastic something is getting ready to happen on these shores that is going to take us away from whatever it is that we're focused on, so that that will become the prime emergency that will give the government the excuse to move on the population.
That explosion that happened on the I-95.
Yeah.
What's
That
your
was
thoughts?
that didn't make any sense.
It
How
didn't.
is it that no, it didn't because how
Yeah.
do you park a truck with such dangerous elements and just
Uh-huh.
park it underneath there and all of a sudden it bursts into flames?
Exactly.
No, what they're doing is destroying the highways by way you would escape. They're shutting down. You're going to see more of that. The shutting down of different pathways for you
Doc,
to leave the state where you're in. It's
doc,
going to be a bracketing situation.
Doc, they gonna say you fear mongering, Doc.
Oh yeah, sure. They can say what they want to say. Most of it is ridiculous. If you're not looking at if there is an event that's happening and
Yeah.
you're not metaphysically thinking in 360 degrees, what is the purpose of you parking a truck under a main highway
Mm,
and
mm,
then exploding it?
mm.
That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Totally
You know?
ridiculous.
Yeah, and then how is it that fires just keep burning when what we see, well, especially here, rain is coming down all over the place? Well, how is that happening?
Mm,
And what is it? What else is being released into the air under the cover of burning bush?
mm.
You see what I'm saying?
The link is in the description, family. What we're gonna do right now, since we press with time, we're gonna get some Q&A from the family.
Okay.
This is a very fun part of the show. Y'all get the opportunity to ask questions directly. So let's get to it. Please be respectful, family, for everybody asking questions. And once again, if you want to ask a question, the link is pinned at the top of the chat. Please be respectful. One question per individual, as we want to get to as many individuals as possible. And there's a limited amount of time tonight with Dr. Valentine. Let's get to the first person that clicked on that link probably is a brother named David. David, what's happening? Peace, David.
Hey, peace, peace. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, greetings, greetings, greetings. Hey, appreciate everything you do, Brother Rich and Dollar
Yes, sir.
Valentine. Quick question though, I want to ask this. Dealing with like children, why do like the issues and the problems that we go through, like when we're kids, why does it stay with us so long? Like when we grow older and we just have these different traumas and triggers. And why does it stay with us so strong? And how
Good.
do we help our own kids? Or I
Mm,
guess like
great. Great. What a question.
Okay.
how we
Absolutely.
help our own kids
Mhm.
deal with the issues, well, not necessarily deal with the issues. I guess just be better, so when they get our age, they don't have to deal with some of the stuff that we deal with.
Well, everyone, you can't take the challenges away from them. That's
For
the
sure.
problem.
Hmm.
We're raising these soft little malleable little nah. I used to get smacked upside my head for when you wrong. Your
Right,
dad or somebody look you and that eyebrow go up. You better be cool.
right, right.
Well, it's funny that you said about the children. Back in the day, they used to have this doctor. He used to be a white doctor who talked about the child within.
Hmm.
Well, he pimped that from a black professor from Howard University who spoke about the child within.
Right.
They took that and of course they ran with that. But the child within is it's very powerful because we're so impressionable at that age that the ganglia, the neural ganglia that is created based upon your experiences are etched very deeply into your brain and cranial matter, your gray and white matter.
Hmm.
So now that becomes the way that your thought processes are angled. Just like you have an irrigation ditch in a field and you pour water here and it follows that.
Right.
It's the same thing. So now when you've created that neural ganglia, that becomes the primary way that your thoughts are structured. And
Hmm.
so now you, being that your brain is structured that way, you thinking that way begin to affect your DNA because DNA is not forever. You can actually create the DNA and change your DNA programming. That now affects the seed that you give to your woman, and then you pass that on to your children.
Okay.
You see
Okay.
what I'm saying? And
Right.
so now your children, because I have my sons, I look back at them, I said, that was me. You know what I'm saying? Wow, look at how crazy they were. Was I like that? Yes.
Right, right. And it's funny because when you correct your kids, sometimes you sometimes correcting yourself. Like even
Yourself.
correct them, I would have said the same thing or did this.
And brother, I have a saying: the child is the father to the man. Why is
Indeed.
that? Because you ain't teaching him how to be a child. He's teaching you how to be a father.
For sure.
So therefore, the child is the father to the man.
Mhm.
Excellent. Thank you for your infinite wisdom. I appreciate you. Appreciate you, brother Rich.
Hey,
Appreciate
hey, David, you the brother from the shower last
Bro,
time?
look, Rich, this is what happened. Let me tell you what happened. I'm glad you brought that up. Look.
Oh man.
Right before I got it, because I've been on, because I had started a
Yeah,
little late, and I was
yeah,
downstairs doing some stuff, and I started, and then I said, and look, I told my wife, I'm gonna wait a little bit, but I said, let me just jump in right quick. As
yeah.
soon as I jumped in, I was about to get out. I said, Lord have mercy. But hey,
Uh,
my fault, family.
it's all good.
It wasn't to be, malice or anything like that. It was just one of those things, yo.
It was a good laugh, man. It's
Indeed,
all good.
appreciate you, yes,
It
sir.
was
All
great,
love,
great,
man.
great question, brother. I look forward to you calling
Yes.
again.
Likewise,
All
likewise.
right,
Take care
peace,
now.
brother. Peace, peace, peace. All right, all right. We started out good. Let's get to the next question from Melvo. Melvo, what's good, brother? You called me before. What's happening?
Yeah, and I remember David last time.
Yeah, you remember, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you
yeah.
remember. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I got my tickets too. I already got my tickets last week.
Excellent,
So
excellent.
I like to know about hair. How can hair affect us as far as getting knowledge? Because I'm growing my dreads. I need to know. I want to know about that more
Like
simply.
Larry Graham says, people ask me everywhere, is that really all of your hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, the hair is your antenna.
Okay.
That is an antenna. In fact, the fibers are made of mostly copper if you are of a high melanin hue.
Mm.
So therefore, a lot of times, the problem with us sometimes is that that copper gets caught up in the hair rather than recirculates back into the system. And
Oh,
that's when you see black people having high blood pressure and dying from heart diseases. And when you look at it, there's the autopsy shows an accumulation of copper as
Mm,
if the body was emergency trying to get the copper to the heart to keep it going.
mm,
So what you have to do is to make sure that as you are growing your locks, that you keep your nutritional intake properly balanced so that you don't get into a starvation mode. Usually, when you fast, you can get into a starvation mode, but it changes and your body begins to pull from the hair. In other words, when you get ill, say you're going through starvation or you're going through a problem, you notice that people, when they get sick, their hair starts turning white.
Right.
Why is that? Because the body is pulling the nutrition out of the hair that's stored there and bringing it back into the body. So, in order to balance it so you keep strong hair and you keep your hair dark, then you make sure that at that point that you keep nutrition balanced for you, and make sure that you don't take too much sugar
Mhm.
and just enough salt in order to act as the spark that keeps the electricity moving through your body.
mhm. All right. Thanks for the question, Melvo. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Peace, peace. Let's get to the next question. We got C Master. C Master, what's happening, brother?
Peace, brother. Peace, 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 y'all.
All right, all right.
Honored to be here. Quick question. In regards to how do I word this? All right. In regards to the powers that be having to give due notice to us before they actually do anything, how do we mitigate that or petition it, so to speak?
There would be no way. We have to do counteroffensive. We have to. We
Okay.
can't. We can't be on the defense. We have to be in a counteroffensive mode consistently. So
Got
there
it.
are brothers that are around right now that have the ability through what they call the blood right heirs. I'm not going to give too much of the information unless you really want to. You can give me give me a hit up on my private email at sanu777 at gmail. And if you
Okay.
want to tell them that you want to know about the blood right heirs, because that takes you completely out of the system, puts you into your autochthonous status, and you are outside of the realm of the war going on between corporations.
Okay.
Need that.
All right.
Gratitude, gratitude.
Appreciate the question, my brother.
Thanks, bro.
All right, peace, peace.
Peace.
Let's get to the next. What you said, Doc?
I was telling him to travel safely.
Indeed. Let's get to the next question. Chen Zera Anubis.
Appreciate you, brother Rich.
All right.
Hey, I want to let you know my niece and nephew love your mother's book. Okay.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for what you were doing, and I'm glad to talk to Baba and great master teacher Valentine. I just wanted to ask, with all this commotion that's going on, I know you may be familiar with the Las Vegas UFO. What distraction is that really being put out there?
Well, in my lecture, I'm going to speak about the fact that there were different tiers to the accumulation of power by the 1%. And this was spoken about by von the man who was the rocketeer who was the Nazi who created NASA, or NASA was created around him. He essentially spoke about the tiered system of control. He said it will first come in as the wars that we had: World War One, World War Two, Vietnam, and all the rest of that. Then he said it will come in as the Arab threat of terrorism. And then after terrorism, the only thing that will bring the entire planet together under their rule will be an invasion from outer space. So now, if you notice, all over the internet is all about aliens from outer space. And anybody who has any information about aliens attacking or going in Majestic 12, which we're going to talk about at the webinar, all of that is going to come into play now because they want you to feel as if there is an enemy growing outside of the human population. And that for your own good, you're going to have to heal, give up some of your rights in order for us and Earth to survive. And so that's going to be the new play. I mean, everything, even the news is talking about UFOs now, as if it's, random. We knew about UFOs because the Germans were doing that. We're going to talk about the Germans who fled to Antarctica. And Perry, not Perry, but what is his name? Well, we'll talk about it. When he went to the Antarctica, he got his ass kicked by these German I don't want to give too much away, but he was supposedly attacked by these disc-shaped objects, and supposedly these entities called the tall whites, and everybody's everything that rules anything is white to them, and they came to give them the technology necessary, and that technology that they gave them made them superior, and so they have bases outside of Antarctica. And those bases are supposed to be where these so called aliens are coming from, or these ships that they see are coming from. But again, that is supposed to consolidate the rule of those who are in the 1%, the WEF, the IMF, all of them. That's the next stage of control over the human population, is aliens attacking.
Appreciate your question, my brother.
Thank you, brother Rich and Papa, Baba. I got y'all a piece I'm making.
Oh, yeah.
I had y'all, so I got organized for you, brother Rich and Valentine.
Thank you.
It's been in the works for a minute, but you see one right now.
All right.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Powerful, powerful.
So I've been waiting. I've been dealing with y'all for a minute, so they've been in the works. But I'm gonna get with y'all to get the addresses to send them to. And
Okay,
thank you
brother.
for my
Appreciate
question.
Okay,
you.
brother.
Thanks.
Thank you. Peace, brother. Let's. Oh, before we get to the next caller, once again, family, we're all getting ready for the webinar. This coming Sunday, June 25th. Re-examining the authenticity of reality is going down at 2 o'clock, June 25th. If you are interested, this is going to be a 10-hour webinar, family. And if you are interested, the link to view this webinar that is nowhere else online, it's not going to be replayed. Unfortunately, family, you got to be there or be square. So I advise all y'all to be there. The link to join and to view it is in the description, family. But it's going to be an amazing webinar. Shout out to Dr. Valentine for putting in so much research. It's no joke doing 10 hours, a 10-hour webinar, family. That ain't no joke. You got to be about your business to do that, family. So make sure y'all join and participate. Let's get to the next caller. We got Ocean Goddess. Ocean Goddess, what's happening? Can you hear me?
Hi, how you doing? Peace and
How you
love.
doing? All right.
Hey, Brother Rich. Hey, Dr. Phil. Hey, so
Hey.
I have an issue, and I just noticed this issue as I became a teenager. Every time there's a
Can't hear you, sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's traveling through a dead spot.
can you hear me?
Yeah, you're traveling through a dead spot, dead zone.
Yeah, we hear you
Yes.
now.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
So when I turn 13, every time there's a major storm, I get headaches. I've gone to the doctors for it. There's really never a reason or any um, solid reason that they can give me as to why this is happening. Can you enlighten me a little?
You say electrical storms cause these headaches?
No, they're well, I guess so. Like rainstorms,
Rain.
snowstorms. I
It
get
seems
headaches.
that, yeah, it seems that because when rainstorms happen, there is a surge of high ionic energy. The ionization of the air may be causing a cleansing reaction in you. So it would possibly be that you should change. Maybe it's a dietary thing that causes you to accumulate materials that when the ionic field uh, changes in your home around you, it causes a cleansing reaction because the ionic, when you start breathing, it's like in the shower, for example. If you're in the shower, it creates this ionization, the movement of water. So perhaps, and again, I can't state because I don't know your total mental condition, your mental, I mean not mental, but medical condition. That perhaps what's happening with you is that with the higher ionic field, when the rainstorm happens, it could start up a cleansing reaction in your body that is related to the most sensitive part of your body right now, and that could also be a precursor towards migraine. So you might want to be very diligent around migraines. And let me ask you this question. It might be a little bit personal. When you are actually having these rainstorms, do you know whether or not you're ovulating at that time?
I don't. I can't say I have. I have been ovulating at one point.
Yeah, because what you're doing is there's a surge of specific minerals that are getting ready to be lost when you do go through that menstruation part, and the body is going through an emergency shift, and it may be robbing from Peter to pay Paul. So I would suggest your magnesium. I would suggest you taking in a little more calcium, magnesium. I would suggest that there is um, cobalt, a little bit more of cobalt. I know you have to be very careful, but like I said, I'm just